Many times we Christians are thinking that are left alone. Nobody cares for us, nobody thinks of us, nobody is watching us, and we are just lost in this place. Many people on this earth are thinking like that. They are thinking that they are just left on this earth, and they are wandering from place to place, trying to find friends and people around them. They cannot find, and they do not understand, and they always ask, what is the problem? What is the reason that I cannot find anybody and I am feeling so lonely in this world? Sometimes I go back in the history of the humanity. Today we have over 7 billion people on the earth. Wherever we turn around, we find people. And whatever we do, sometimes not only feeling alone, but we feel opposite. We are feeling overcrowded, and wherever we turn, we fear that somebody is going to attack us. And this is the problem that face people on this earth, as this earth is so much populated at this time. But comparing to this time, I compare the time when Adam was in the beginning, when God created him with Eve. There were only 2 people. And they were searching for other people on the earth, but there were none. And I can imagine how lonely they were feeling after God had left them, sent them out of the Garden of Eden. God was not coming there anymore to meet them and to talk to them. God was somehow hidden, and they were feeling lonely. Now, after a time when they have had children, when the earth began to be populated, they have seen how the population brings the disaster, brings the crisis. When they have seen 2 of their sons who were fighting against each other. And secondly, later, not very much later on in that time, we see how one of those brothers, Cain, said to God, now I'm afraid of people standing around me, because whoever sees me will kill me. Whoever sees me will kill me. So Cain was afraid of any people being around him. And in that situation, I'm simply asking, what would Cain do if he find himself today in the center of Washington, D.C.? With so many millions of people around him, would he not be afraid? But God protected him. And God said, no. Many people will see you, even thousands or millions in the center of Washington, D.C., but none of them will touch you. And God had given him a sign on his forehead that no one would attack him, but people would escape from him. So there was either one extreme or the other. Cain was afraid of people being around him, so many. Now God had given him a sign that people were fleeing away from him, and he was again alone. He was walking and going from place to place, from country to country, from region to region. And you see, then when people multiplied on the earth, Cain was still feeling the curse that God has sent to him because he had killed his brother. And therefore, even later on, Cain was able to ask himself, what shall I do? Who cares for me? Even I would die, even I would be killed, whatever would happen, I would be... Sorry?
Why he killed his brother?
Well, he killed his brother because they quarreled. They were disagreeing each other. And you see, this was happening in the life that people are asking for care. Who will care for me? Now, when we are sending our children away, in their life, we are thinking many times, who will care for me? In some regions of the world, the aged people are taken care of by some organizations, some retirement homes or something, but in some places When you see in some countries people are left on their own, children have gone to survive and to work and to live, and they are simply living lonely. Who cares for them? They are always attacked by the wild animals or beasts or people who are searching for somebody to kill because enjoy killing. And you see, this is very big uncertainty on this earth. But now, somebody cares for us. You see, in this case was from generation to generation. And when Jesus came on this earth, when He started working, when He was gathering His disciples, look at them, how and what they were doing. Every one of them was in different corner, doing to survive, doing something to live. Some of them were fishermen on the Sea of Galilee, and they were fishing day by day to earn their existence. Some of them were sitting on the chair tax collecting in the city. Some of them were in different places. And Jesus went over them, calling them, "Come with me." They followed Him. And there was a good big number, 70 of them, following Jesus, a big group. Now when Jesus began to talk to them about some deeper things, they had fled away. And they said, who can carry this? This is hard work for us. And so they left Him. Now, only remained 12 of the disciples. Jesus is sending them. If you want to go, if you find somebody to care for you, you are free to go. But then they said, "No, Lord, we have nobody to care for us. Because in this world there is nobody who have the life, the words of life, nobody who cares better, and therefore we have come to you." Jesus says, "I have chosen you." With that word, "Did I not choose you for my disciples?" There is always remaining a big question. Why Jesus had given that question? Did I not choose you 12? Whatever character was, whatever the midst was where Jesus called them from, but they were called by Him. Jesus knew whether they can survive in the world or not. But He has called them. Now when He had called them, He began to talk to them about the cruelty of the world, about the situation in this world, about the loneliness in this world, about the sin in this world. And therefore, they were also confused in many places and in many times. And they were saying, "Lord, what about this? What about us?" You see, for example, Peter is standing by Jesus and saying, "Lord, we have left our families, our mothers, fathers, wives and children and everything. We are following you. Who cares for us? What will happen with us? Can we know something? Can we have something that we would be relaxing and hoping that somebody will take care of us?" And you see, Jesus is giving Peter, "Don't worry, Peter, I care for you." And you see, this was somehow relaxing. Jesus is caring for me. Now, you see later on in Gospel of Mark chapter 9, when we read the sons of Zebedee with their mother came to Jesus and they wanted to secure their future, asking, "Lord, when you come in your kingdom, don't leave us on the side, but take care of us and let us sit on your right and left side so that we would be secured." Jesus answered to them and said, "You don't know what you want. It is not important." Because in chapter 6 of Gospel of Matthew, to verse 33, He says, "Search first of all the kingdom of God and its righteousness. Everything else will be given to you." That was God's word, and that is God's word. Search first of all the kingdom of God and its righteousness. Everything else will be given to you. Sisters and brothers, I can witness to you of this. All these things will be given to you in my personal life. My family can tell you how we were surviving in all of that time. Because somebody cared. And I'm so thankful to the Lord that He cared for us. And you see, Jesus is giving to Peter, "Oh Peter, if you have left all of that and you are wondering and thinking, what will happen with me? I tell you, you will receive, I'll give you 100 times more. And at the end, eternal life as a crown of that." And you see, God is always holding that crown as a final gift to His children. He cares daily with everything what I was counting to the child this morning. He is giving everything what we need daily, but He's holding the crown of life for the end. And you see, if nothing on this earth is good or precious that God has given us, if nothing is, then the precious is the crown of life that God is preparing for me and for His children. So therefore, you see, the disciples were terrified when they have heard these things that Jesus was saying. What will be the future? Jesus was from one side saying to them, "I am going to suffer, to be dead, and to raise again." And they were thinking, now we have found somebody to care for us. Now that the Lord is going away, is going to die, and what will happen with us? What will happen with us? Now Jesus is giving them simply knowledge and understanding. "I will not leave you. I'll be with you till the end of the ages," He says. That was a little bit secure. Okay, when the Lord is with us, Apostle Paul is writing in a letter to the Romans, who can stand against us? Now the disciples were somehow strengthened, secured. Now is something that the Lord is with us. And you see in chapter 6 and 7 of the Gospel of John, Jesus is on the side of the Decapolis, eastern side of the lake of Gennesaret. And He is feeding 5,000 and leaving them there and then coming to Capernaum. And then next day they are coming and saying, "Lord, how did you come here?" He said, "You are searching for me because you ate bread and fish. But search something that is more important, that is a food that is not destructible. And therefore, search something better. What shall we do?" They said, to do God's work and God's will. So Jesus was teaching them what to do and how to do, because He was giving them not only the physical food, but simply the spiritual connection to the Father. Now Jesus is walking through the streets of Jerusalem. You know, even today, if you walk through the streets of Jerusalem, you will recognize, you will see many, many things. And it will witness to you. Jesus is walking through the streets of Jerusalem. And the disciples are looking at all the buildings and houses built by lime rock. And you could recognize, like even today, people from richer background and people poorer, what kind of house they were building. People close to the center of the city and people to the suburbs of the city, depending on their earning or on their wealth. Now when they came to the temple, it was something really to marvel in that time. When about 20 years ago, or 25, I went to New York and saw the twin buildings in the trade center in New York. That was amazing. So high. How was it built? I was amazed. And then when I went on the top of one of that, seeing all the New York around as far as your eye can see, that was marvelous. But, you see, it was like God was saying, this will be down in a dust in a minute. I did not know, I did not imagine until September 11, 2001. But this is what happens. At that time, the disciples were looking at the temple in Jerusalem. marvelous building, built and decorated with gold, decorated with silver, because the Bible says the silver in Jerusalem in the time of Solomon was like a stones on the street. Maybe today there are no stones in the asphalt roads in the cities, but there are still stones in the streets of smaller places or around. But you see, that was the silver in Israel, in Jerusalem, was like that. And therefore the temple was decorated with gold and silver, marvelous for all people who would come there. And the disciples were marveling, wow, what hands were there that were building this. But you see, Jesus was never marveling at that. Jesus is marveling on some other things that are really invisible for people. Jesus is marveling at the heart of the situation of the individual person. When somebody was coming and touching him and healed by the touch, he was marveled, turning around. Who had touched me with faith? Jesus is marveled by the faith of some people. Now, if you read chapter 8 of Gospel of Matthew, you will find out the centurion, Roman centurion, who is calling Jesus and saying, "Come and heal my servant." And when Jesus started to go, he's sending and saying, "Lord, don't come, I'm not worthy. But simply send your word and it will be done." Jesus says, "In all Israel I have not found such faith." Jesus is marveling at the faith, at the inner situation of the person, not at the buildings. And therefore he is saying all of this. You see, outside it will be ruined. In this temple, he said, not even stone will remain on stone. Everything will be destroyed. And they were somehow shaken. Oh, what happened? It will be really a disaster. But Lord, what shall we do then? You see, they were frightened. They were afraid, terrified. And Lord, what will happen? Please tell us more about that we can really know and see what and how to give us suggestion what to do. And he said, "Do not be dismayed by this. It will happen in the time. Nation against nation, the earthquakes will be, the nature will be turning upside down, I would say, but do not be afraid of that. Somebody cares for you," Jesus wants to say to them. Somebody cares for you. Even a hair of your head will not fall without knowledge of your Father from heaven. So carefully you are carried. You are taken care of in all your life. Don't worry about that, Jesus said. Everything will be disastrous around you, but nothing will touch you. Look at the psalmist when he says, "And when I turned around, hundreds and thousands were around me, fallen, and not one of them touching me." God had protected me. And God was really protecting David, and therefore David, even in the hardest time, was singing to the Lord, asking the Lord for help and guide, for blessings. And you see, Jesus is saying, whatever happens in this world, if you are connected to me, I am taking care of you. I'll take care of you in every situation. People will hate you. People will persecute you. People will try to kill you and kill you. Don't worry, I'll be with you. Because the life of the body is not crucial, is not main. The life eternal that I will give you is more. Whether you are in body or out of the body, that doesn't matter for me. You are mine. I have bought you with the precious price. And therefore you are belonging to me. So this was somehow relaxing to the disciples, relief of their sorrow or their confusion. Who will care for us? What will happen for us? And you see, when you read the letters, especially the Acts of Apostles, when you see the life of Apostle Paul, several times in his life when he was discouraged by the struggles of the life, God is appearing to him and saying to him, Paul, don't worry, I am with you. Several times we read in the Acts of Apostles. Paul is in Philippi in the prison, beaten and kept. God is shaking the earth and shaking the prison. The doors are open, the chains are fallen, Paul is free. But he wants to bring the jailer to the Lord too. And you see, Paul is 14 days on the sea, on the Mediterranean, between the waves. And he says, I did not know when is the day and when is the night. Then God is saying to him, Paul, I am with you. Remember, don't forget. And many times in the disasters of our life, when we are discouraged and confused, God is there saying to us, I am with you. Don't forget it. I am with you. And therefore, God said to Paul, not only I am with you, but I give you all these 267 people in your hands. None of them will suffer, will perish. All of them will come out on a dry land. How, Lord? I am with the chains on my hands and feet. And these people to be with me together. How? The Lord says, don't ask how, I'll provide and I'll do. And really when there was a shipwreck on the shore of Malta, then all of them, on wood, on a plank, by swimming, all of them came out. Paul, I am with you, and I'll give you all of this. I will be with all of them also, that they can see that I am leading the situation. Now another proof. I would go long and long, but simply just this proof. When people were thinking that this man is left by God, God has left him, and he is really a simple person, when the snake was hanging on his hand, and they have seen that snake was really dangerous and poisonous. Oh, they said, this is finished. This man has got really finished. But then Paul simply threw that snake in the fire and continued with them, not happening anything. Oh, now, after a time, they said, really, God is with this man. Paul, do not worry, I am with you. And read chapter 16 of the Gospel of Mark. You will see how Jesus is saying, and to my believers, to those who follow me, even they drink or eat any poisonous, it will not harm them, because I am with them. This is the guarantee. Jesus cares for us. Jesus cares for his children. Amen. And you see, I can tell you from my personal experience, when the poison was damaging my throat and my life, God said, I am with this child. And God was with me. Wanted to use me. Until over 65 years from that moment, I'm still existing, because God cares for me. And remember, whatever happens in your life, remember, God does not leave you. He cares for you. This morning, God has brought me to give you an encouragement. I don't know what was happening this week with you. I don't know what is going to happen with you next week, or next month, or next year. But remember, God is with you, because He does not change. He is the same, yesterday, today, and forever. He will care for you. Whatever you need, He will take care of that. Just keep in touch with Him. Just follow Him, and you will see the miracles of His guidance and blessings. May the Lord be praised and glorified, because He really cares for us. May His name be praised and glorified now and forever. Amen.